Back on this Sunday morning with my colleague John North, we're talking to the Sheriff of Knox County, Tom Spangler. Sheriff, what is the biggest threat on our streets right now?
Fentanyl. Nothing else right now is any bigger than that right now. And it's the biggest danger not only our public has, but our officers as well, because they're having to come in contact with it, and especially within our corrections facilities. We're seeing so much of it get in that our officers are really having to be very careful right now.
I actually heard, and it could have been from you, I'm trying to remember one of our conversations, but there's an overdose nearly every day at the Knox County Sheriff's Detention Facility. Is that
close to it?
Okay.
I would say yes.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth,
Yes.
but I'd heard that, and that's just astounding that a secure facility, frankly, you probably get more drugs there than you could on the street at this point. And I know it's a challenge for your officers, and one of the reasons you needed more jailers.
And it's very much a challenge, and people don't like to hear it, but it's a fact. The people that are coming in and how it's getting in is coming in their person.
So just in one follow-up, and I'm going to turn it over to Susan, she brought something up on your resume, and that was with the days of Metro Narcotics. And I grew up as a young lawyer with Metro Narcotics and chasing you guys around for interviews and cases before they had teleserve and ways to find you. But that seemed to be a real efficient way to police in our community, because drugs don't see the boundaries of city and county. And I've said this about other county offices and city offices that I think should be combined. Do you think maybe we need to look at a better plan to go back to a Metro Narcotics? I know we have federal drug task forces and things like that, but a much closer cooperation and unit between county and city, at least as it relates to something like drugs.
And it could be. We do have a very good working relationship with the city as well, and our narcotics unit as well stays in touch with them and vice versa. But it's something definitely we need to look at down the road, and I say definitely down the road because us trying to beef up our agencies, I think that's the number one goal right now, to where we can do that.
Metro Narcotics was under the same roof and the same guys.
That's exactly right.
And I thought that was a pretty effective way to police in this community.
Sure.
And I think it'd be a way, hopefully, that you and Chief Noel and others might be able to think about in the future.
Getting back to that topic, Sheriff, of fentanyl, and TBI obviously agrees with you. They're seeing the same thing as well. What are your folks doing to try and combat it? Because I know you've got a very active narcotics unit. What can you do? What are you trying to do?
We'll continue to do what we've been doing for the past several years, just like our sister agency with KPD. Any kind of complaints that we get or whatever, those people that we have information on as well, we're trying to get those individuals that are bringing the supplies through our county and city, and that's where a lot of it is coming from, is our traffic stops right now.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2022. There were 546 drug-related deaths, and 75% were fentanyl. I don't know how you deal with that. I mean, do you all work cooperatively with the TBI or the FBI or other southern states? They're seeing the same kind of problems.
We do. We have all these task force that are with other agencies, with our federal agencies as well, and we're combating it that way. It's just, it seems like we scratch a little bit and then something happens and we scratch a little more, and that's what we're doing right now. It seems like we're just scratching the surface of it because of the fentanyl. And the problem is that these people that get to this and are abusing it, it's to the point to where they want that next high. And it's not enough, so they want a little more, and they get to the point to where now it's death.
Where is it coming from, and what drug is it typically mixed with in our community?
It's being mixed with several things right now, is what we're seeing. It's coming from the southern border, and it's making its way up through to Detroit. That's where most of our people that we've been arrested here lately are coming from Detroit, going south, and then vice versa, coming back up north as well. So
you say several drugs. What drugs are those?
Actually, they're even putting in marijuana right now.
I've heard that trope before, and I've not seen any hard evidence that we're finding fentanyl in marijuana.
It's there.
Okay, you had positive. You've seen TBI positive toxicology reports.
We have
showing
seen
fentanyl in marijuana.
Yes, we have seen it. And for that to happen, that tells us that they're willing to do it and put it in anything right now, and that's scary for us as well. But also, just in your some of your, I guess, your prescribed medications that you're seeing, they're dissolving it and mixing it as well. So it has become, I guess, dressing for just about any drug out there
And
right
primarily heroin, though, is that
now. Oh,
accurate?
yeah, well, I would say that's very much up there, yes, sir.
TBI
Absolutely.
has said that meth is now in the top spot when it comes to drugs that they have confiscated. Are we seeing that in Knox County as well?
It's making a comeback, and I know that's hard to believe. It's so much cheaper to make, but it is making a comeback, and we're certainly starting to see an uptick in that as well.
And Sheriff, you've lived a number of years. You've been in law enforcement for 2 decades. What do you attribute the underlying problems driving this epidemic?
I could put a few things on that. One is it's just, for some people, it's just a way of life, and that they've done that for so long. They don't want to do anything else. Another thing is obviously the poverty is there. They're trying to find something to either sell it or be able to get it. That's a big part of it. And like I said, the combination of many things, our homeless situation that you're seeing across this country is also adding to it as well. So just to add all that on top of things, it's just making things harder and harder for us. And to see what I started with was LSD and acid and things like that. Those things are almost non-existent now, and to see how much harm it is today than it was back then. I'm not taking any of the seriousness away from it from then, but it's so much more potent now than what we're seeing.
Do you believe we should legalize marijuana?
Do I believe it? No.
Yes. Why?
Because I know what it does as far as an impact, just from my experience and law enforcement, you will see. Now, if you want to get into the medical side, I'll let them talk about that. But from what we see, it still does the same effect on people getting out here, having to drive a vehicle, things such as that. So we've been around it.
Intoxicated.
Yeah.
But what about the person that wants to use it at home, recreationally, in a safe manner? You still
Let them stay at home.
So you'd be all right with that?
They can do what they want to inside their home. We don't have any right to be in somebody's home.
Well, if you smell it, there'll be a door knock.
Well, that's true. There will. But as far as law enforcement, that's our issue, because we do. And I say that because of personal experience. Sure. I know and I understand the medical side of it and people wanting to do that. I want them to deal with that part of it and do it in a safe manner the way they should.
We've got to take another quick break. Susan, we'll get back with your question. Sheriff Spangler with us for another block here on Inside Tennessee. Back with more right after this.